Welcome to SithTalk, brought to you by Gattacara and Lanyard, bringing you news from Star Wars The Old Republic and beyond. Join us now as we explore the universe and take down the Republic in a galaxy not so far away. Hey everybody, welcome to a new week.
SithTalk.
Yeah, well, there we go. Now we're recording, I can say. Welcome everybody to a new episode of SithTalk. Got a lot of background noise on both sides, it sounds like today, which is never a good thing. But unfortunately, we'll just work our way through it. It is Halloween week, of course, and there has been lots of boogie-boo tricks and treats on both sides of the board for both us, the players of Star Wars, and for the lovers of the Star Wars franchise. We'll work our way to covering most of that. Of course, we have some patch news, a new episode by Pseudo, and then, of course, some little extras talking about the videos we've recorded, as well as the patch notes for both the live game and, of course, the patch notes we have for the PTS itself. So we'll get rolling on that in just a minute. Lanyard, what is going on in your background, bro?
Dude, can you... Well, hold on. I think I might know what it is. Hold on. Just, roll.
Yeah, I'll keep going. So this week, of course, we had some news that came through. I tried to give away... Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's loud, brother. Of course, this week we have... we tried to give away... Or last week we tried to give away...
that better?
Yeah, much better, actually. It's a little ambient noise. We tried to give away a 60-day time card. Unfortunately, Chris did not pick up the phone or did not at least answer his Skype messages or his Facebook messages, so I'm forced to hand it off to the next man in line. Keep playing with plastic, you pecker wood. You and your fidgeters. So I went ahead and chose another person. I'm going to give a message out to Thomas Duncan from our Facebook page. Let him know that he's got the chance for the card, and hopefully he takes the treat. Otherwise, I've already got two more lined up, and they will be messaged. This last time I waited almost a week to pull a new name out of the hat. This week will be swift. 2 days, and then the next name comes out.
Cool. Got my candy.
Now, got your candy.
Got my candy corn.
Of course, this week we posted 2 videos. There was the first PTS video that went up at the same time as our show video, which was my bad, but it seems to have gotten several hits. Then there was a second PTS video that I put up covering all of the legacy items. Unfortunately, they threw a monkey wrench into my plans by adjusting some prices and changing some of the stuff in the freebies. So I'll be posting a new video in 2 days. I think I'm going to record it tonight, but I want to put it out later. Because I had a great deal of responses. Chuck Hound 1 said, "Awesome. How are you feeling about the game? As it's going forward?" Let's see. I'm trying to expand this because I had word wrap on, but the fucking word wrap doesn't want to work. I love this shit. Let's see. It said, he's always worried about coming back to have it die on him. Thanks for the, then he says, sounds good. I might re-up tomorrow. Enjoy. Pardon me. Join you all on the Prophecy of the 5. Basically, what I told him is that the world still feels alive. Some days are better than others. Tonight there's 2 or 3 copies of the Party of the 5 server going on as far as the fleet goes. There's still multiple copies of the worlds as we're doing our dailies. The only server that doesn't always feel alive is the patch server.
Yeah.
People blitz the patch server to get into the new raid. Once those guys are done, they bounce out, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm more of a casual gamer, even though we joke about how hardcore I am about having the right gear to go and do ops. So, I covered a lot of the bases as far as what was available to us in the Legacy and in the other sections of the Cartel market. Mr. Dillon dropped in and said, great show, guys. Just got done with K-On! Hard Mode. got the speeder, and I'm with Lanyard. Basically, his thing is he hates to have to skip stuff in the flashpoint. And you know, I don't disagree. I don't like skipping a lot of shit in the flashpoint, just because it's annoying. You know, if as I told him, if you go into a flashpoint and you have to skip stuff, and then somebody leaves because you wipe. You know, there's some other shit he's got to make it past.
Yep.
You know, I'll tell you guys later about my K-On story, but it's annoying whether you're in a raid or you're in a flashpoint or an opera flashpoint. It doesn't matter. If you skip through stuff one way or another, whether it's because you guys wipe or because somebody new joins the party, someone's going to accidentally pull
the aggro.
Don't tell them, hey, wait a minute, we didn't clear everything.
Stay to the left, stay to the right. Don't, you know, it's bullshit, man. And then they end up pulling everything. They get killed. Then you got to wait for them to come back. And then it's like this bullshit. Or you all wipe, and somebody inevitably misses that tree branch and pulls everything anyway. You spend more time trying to avoid shit than you would if you just kill the crap. That's why, like, the last one of the runs I was doing, I got tired of it, and I just started pulling shit. Screw it.
Yeah. And in K-On, you know, with so many things like the screamers having that knockback,
oh, God,
if you pull the groups too far, too close to one another, then you end up with an issue where you're actually going to get knocked back into the group that you didn't want to pull in the first place, thereby ruining your whole plan.
Yep.
But we also had a review that was posted on iTunes a couple days before we recorded our last show, and I want to make sure I give big ups to this dude. Hazard0643 says, I listen every week. I recommend my show to everyone who plays SWTOR. I don't even play as much as I used to, but I don't miss an episode. Keep it up, guys. And we signed off with Bill.
Cool.
So thanks, Bill. You know, always looking forward to hearing from our fans.
Absolutely.
And of course, as my bone of contention has always been, we get a lot of you know, remarks on our YouTube page because it's an interactive deal there. But I'm always looking for more and more reviews on iTunes to help us work our way through the charts. But overall, man, we had a great week. A lot of great responses from the videos. And as we always tell you guys, there's always big, you know, we told you guys a little last episode, I think it was, Kevin's always working in the background. Kevin has went ahead and got us partnered with YouTube. So we are not just a channel, we are a YouTube partner.
Nice.
So, you know, you guys can enjoy a few ads, but those ads, if, you know, we get enough views, end up paying, helping pay for the podcast. And Kevin says we're well on our way to making some loot there.
I always consider you the host, the brains of the operation. I'm the producer of sorts, and Kevin is our promoter. So that works for me.
And speaking of promotions, I looked into, you know, we're getting into the chillier part of the season, so I looked into the idea of getting some skull caps or beanies or stocking caps, whatever you guys want to call them. But basic you know, skull caps is what I've always called it because mostly skull.
Get some watch caps so that way when people rob stores, they've got SithTalk right There's our fan.
But I did go into that, and I was hoping a family member would be able to come through for me. Unfortunately, she can't do work on the scale that I was asking, which is okay. It happens.
What were you asking for?
Well, I told her I wanted to get about 50 of them, and unfortunately, she doesn't have machines that can get through the thickness of the material I was looking at. Because I didn't want to get those super cheap $2 deals you can get at any Dollar General and then hawk those to our fans for $10. I want to get slightly better knit caps, not like thermal, but actually knit caps that would cover your whole head and shit. Like, you know, I buy for myself. Something a little on the thick side, but when I talked to her about it, unfortunately, she wasn't able to upload the clip art to it, which was the thing.
Right.
But I'm still looking into that. What my goal is to find something that we can, you know, pay half as much as what we, you know, offer it to you guys, or just be able to give a few away so that people can start wearing them out in the field. Because the caps seem to be a cheaper alternative than our actual shirts are. So. I did get a price for 100 of them. It's going to cost about $480. So I'm not going to be pulling the trigger on that bad boy anytime real soon. but it may be something that we order in smaller quantity to check the quality of it and check the size of the logo. Because there were a couple of websites that I really liked. Unfortunately, one of them had it was 2 inches wide and 4 inches long, but on the cutout it would have been like this big. That's how big they were, like tiny little logo.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna wear it, man, you gotta wear it loud, wear it proud. So fuck them. Yeah.
We can get the Fargo hat and put it right on the flip up part.
That'd be fucking hilarious. But we do have quite a bit this week. Like I said, patch notes from both the PTS and the live servers. Some spectacular news, potentially for Star Wars lovers. But I wanted to touch base and let you guys know, as far as YouTube goes, we were resting on 90 hits on the actual show on YouTube. We're at 822 on another PTS video, which was my second video. And then, let's see, the first one of that, where are you at?
314, I think, was the first one.
Oh, no.
Well, all I know is I think when you uploaded that to YouTube, didn't you supersede the show?
Slightly. But people were actually, I watched, the show had about 60 hits, but it's went up 20-some hits since I posted those other 2 shows.
Oh, that works.
So it's a bleed effect. People are watching this and wanting to see what the show's all about. But we have 602 on the first PTS video, and then I got another 822 on this main video, and then we had 88. So, and of course, I think downloads-wise, we were at about 600 on the actual pod site. So I find that to be some big-ass support. I want to thank you guys for that. But Lanyard, you know what? We got a lot of news on. I need to get to it. So what happened in your week?
Well, this week I ran with Suiza pretty much all week. Now that I'm done leveling Zuzu, of course we already know that Landre is on the, he's in retirement. Mm-hmm. Lanyard is just kind of hanging out until whenever. But I wanted to work on Suiza because I really enjoyed my trooper. So I got on to Balderdash. And I was gonna promote the guild this weekend, but it was just the last time I did any guild promoting was when I played WoW, and it worked out okay. But then you start getting a whole bunch of people, and you got this. Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? So I'll just pick them up as they come, the casual type. Anyway, so I jumped in and put in for looking for group. I wanted to get the hard mode dailies done. So I got clicked on everything to do the hard mode dailies. I did Battle of Ilum. I did the Kaon Under Siege. I did Directive 7. I did Terrell 5. I did Red Reaper. I did Esselis. I did everything but Lost Island and False Emperor and Maelstrom Prison. No, I did do Maelstrom. So everything but False Emperor and the other one I just mentioned. Lost Island. Hard modes, okay? Awesome, right? It was a lot of fun. And then EV story mode popped, right? Score, right? So we go to do that, and we did a bunch of messing around and couldn't get a bunch of people, and then some people quit, and blah, 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 you know how ops go. And we ended up doing EV hard mode, and I also did KP, which people are watching right now, story mode. And I told the guys that I would mention their names. Didn't get the KP guys, but that's all right. You can see it. It's Knox and Doman and Charles. It looks like his name's Charles. Dara Sumtrack, or something like that.
What crack?
It's Dara Suumktrac.
That was the off tank, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the off tank. Because you were. I just noticed you were in the KP too. So those guys were great in. And I ran with Knox in EV as well. So at least she was there temporarily. So that was cool. So I wanted to mention the guys that we did for EV because I told them I would. So we've got, and I can't remember their roles, but we got Ragnus, I Am Babies, Valissa, Alagos, Tiffs, Halopar, and Buzzer, I want to say. And there was 2 guilds, two groups of guilds, and then a couple of myself and then a pug. And so they told me to mention their guilds. So we've got the Armada Guild and HKH Guild was with us on the EV hard mode, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up getting some good stuff for Suiza. She ended up getting Ricotta chest piece, Ricotta boots, a couple of mods that dropped, and
so you said you went into story mode, so you actually went into hard mode.
I went into, yeah, we started out in EV story mode, getting the group together, and then we had people drop out, and we didn't have a tank, we needed a tank, we did blah, 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 and so it seemed we were having a hard time filling the story mode, because I wanted to get the daily done, which is for her, it's story mode. And we were having a hard time filling for story mode, so we said, okay, fuck it, let's go hard mode. And there was a few people that were like, I'm not really geared for hard mode. I said, dude, look at my gear. You know, I've got Taiwanese. You know, that's all I've got. So, and, you know, level 50 blues. So I wasn't really super geared for it either. But we said, fuck it, let's try it. And we finally got the group together, and it literally took like an hour and a half to get the group together, which blew. But, and I didn't, and my Uvu, I don't know, or not Uvu, Overwolf, if anybody's listening with Overwolf, it was fucking up on me again. It kept screwing up, not recording, not anything else. So I didn't get any of EV. It said it was recording, but the file was corrupt, so I didn't get any of EV, which kind of pisses me off. But, because EV was a lot of fun. And we got on vent, we ran through on the Armada's guild vent, and we took down the big boss, the hard guy at first, no problem. Took him down real easily. I said, oh, I'll do the puzzle boss, right? Or was it on? No, that was KP. See, I'm getting my things mixed up again. KP, we went in to do the puzzle boss, and I was trying to do the puzzle by myself, and that didn't work. So we wiped on that. And then Nox came up and helped me with that, and we popped it down real easily. And you were tanking on KP, and first time you tanked on Nolani, and you were wearing what you called crappy gear, which was better than the shit I had, but better than what our main tank was. And you did really, really good. And we only had one wipe, no, 2 wipes in that because of my fuck up on the puzzle boss. Because I couldn't get the puzzle down, and we ended up raging him. But
yeah.
But the other wipe was when Nox decided to run right on past the puzzle boss and into the group. That every fucking one I've ever gone on, somebody does it. I did it the first time I ran it with Lanyard. I ran straight in there. It's like whoops. So, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, she's doing really good. I've done the Ilum. I did the Ilum dailies. I was getting raped by the faggots that would sit there in the heroic area and knock you into the NPCs and giggle about it. We even had 20 fucking bastards get together to try to get these guys, and he brought 3 or 4 more friends. So it was a big battle, but it was us against, it was 20 of us against 3 Sith and all the fucking heroic NPCs. So of course we got our asses handed to us, but that's because the NPCs kept respawning, and you can't. So that got annoying. So I don't even. The only time I do the dailies now, because now that she's getting the better gear, she doesn't need the daily gear. The only time I go do dailies, it's on Corellia. That's for the black hole comms and for a little bit of cash. That's it. So I did that. I did do a run or 2 with Zuzu because it was getting slow. At about 2 a.m. on my time, so that would have been 4 a.m. server time. So it was getting a little harder to get groups. But yeah, that was it. A lot of fun. So, what'd you do, other than what I just told everybody you did?
Well, I'm going to tell people anyway because I ran that KP, and you didn't bother mentioning the fact that I got the worldwide truckers fucking mount.
You got the fucking car, you bitch.
Yeah. I mean, and it was cool, but, I hold myself to a high standard when I'm in a raid or an operation. I really want to have the gear that should be appropriate for that level. And since I guess it was dropping Kalumi or it was dropping TNEs, then most of my Kalumi and Ricardo was probably, obviously a little bit of overkill. But she had quite a bit of TNEs, and I going in there, and like even my weapon was the one thing I leave out because my weapon's still from what I got from the little package they give you when you hit 50. I haven't really had the ability to swap out that gun at all, which has dumbfounded me for the better portion of the time she's been 50. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. When I was playing on Ricardo, I was doing some dailies, and then he goes, "Man, sure wish I knew who had a tank on the Republic side. I'd really like to have a tank." I was like, "All right, twist my fucking arm," because I did the same thing to him. If I was on the Imperial side, I go, "Wish I knew somebody who had a tank, or maybe a DPS would want to come and have some fun." But right now in the Boulder Dash Guild, we have very obvious roles like Lanyard's DPS and Pseudo's maybe going to get to 50 someday, and then we've got a couple of DPS, and then of course I'm a tank, and I'm leveling a healer. So it's hard to resist. And of course I was like, well, I don't know all the fights, but he's like, oh, we're like we're on Yarg and Giorno, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I know that fight ish. Yeah. And he's like, well, you know what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, dude, I DPS and I heal this. I stay out of shit and I puddle a lot.
I think I explained it pretty well, though. I've done it enough times.
But, it was nice to be able to get in and do that. Of course, I got in to do a couple of the PTS videos that I was talking about earlier. And that's actually a lot of fun, going in and finding all the new shit that they're putting in and being able to have it as a reward. But it is actually also my rant of the week. Everybody really enjoyed the videos, and I want to thank you guys for coming out and checking those out. I will be posting more. But the thing is, okay, when I started with the first video, I did the first video, got to buy a bunch of shit, felt really good about everything, was really happy. Went to Section X on my SithTalk character, which is literally SithTalk, which is the mock-up of Naga Jalokia, and she's out there. Well, I didn't want to log in on her because I was afraid I'd miss some story and some cutscenes, whatever. So I got on Naga and I went to pick up the missions. And I got there and I forgot that they had changed the PTS to a free-to-play format. So everyone on the PTS is considered free-to-play, which for me sucks.
That's why I stopped. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
And I get in there, I've got one fucking action bar.
Yep.
And I'm confused. I thought maybe my game was bugging out. And I'm like, okay, well, see, I already had these. You can't take something I had away from me.
Oh, no, they can.
And say we're testing it.
They can, and they will. And they did.
Yes. So, of course, I've got one action bar. I have none of my attacks up. Then I say, okay, well, I'm just going to go record some video for the dailies so everybody can see what Section 8 dailies are, at least on the Imperial side. And so I get there, and I go to Section X, and it goes, you must have the Section X pass. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I just bought 3 more fucking bags so that I could see what kind of other cool shit they're going to drop. And that's what frustrated me the most, was the fact that I bought the bags, not even realizing that they had updated it so we were all free-to-play people. Because, that would be stupid to do it any other way. But... So I got shit out of my third video because that was my third video. I was going to pop one in, do the daily, and be done with it. Hopefully, with the patch they released today, I'll get some more Cartel coins and I can afford to buy the fucking pass so that I can get into the area I already had fucking access to. This week has been kind of hectic. I did a lot of PvP with our buddy Moro. Which I also believe is like Star Wars Freak, which is some other Safara. Yeah, I don't know how many names, and I can never remember which one he tells me to use. So fuck. We'll go with Moro today. And then of course I was trying my best to get a hold of Chris. I must have sent him like 50 messages. I'll have to make sure I friend him and say, hey, this is dude from SithTalk before I send the message to Duncan, because the messages were going through. It's not like I couldn't send him a message, but he never responded. So the next dude, when I call your name, please raise your hand and say, yes, I either have the game installed or yes, I'm still playing, and I will gratefully give you the fucking code as soon as you message me about that. Yep. Tried to do it with the other dude, and apparently nowhere to be found, so whatever. But no, I did like 5 or 6 PvP matches today. Was healing like crazy on Wade Wells. Got some new upgrades, so I've got a little bit more Kalumi on Nolani. Rakat's geared out. I can't do shit with him. You know, I ran a couple of heroics or hard modes, whatever. And I've had a bunch of fun. I didn't really get on Nagashlokia all that much this week, which is kind of neither here nor there. I've been working on augmenting Nolani's gear so I can get closer to the stats to where they need to be. I'm at 49% defense, 46% shield, 44% on absorb. So I'm almost.
You're right. Yeah, you're right about where you need to be.
Yeah, and I've got a few TNEs, and of course, like I said, I've got one of the starter PvP weapons. So once I swap out a few more slots, I should be right on the nose with what I need, and I can start looking for a little bit more stam here and there.
Yeah. The tough part is once you start getting some of that higher level gear, they start throwing like absorption at you, which, okay, but according to all the websites I've seen, you're supposed to balance these three to be about the same, and I end up being all whacked on one side, and so I don't know.
Yeah, and that was the biggest problem I had, is trying to level them out appropriately, and it just wasn't working for me. So, you know, we'll see how the stats break down. I did get on, I want to say it was Zoe. I got on Zoe for a little bit, and I did heal an instance. But I did get a K on Under Siege while I was on Noli this week. And I thought it was funny because I log in, and you can see where you can tell when you log into an instance already in progress where you are. Mm-hmm. And I was right after the guy who turns into a raccoon, so I was at your fight, the turret fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, so guys, I see we're stuck at the turret.
Yep.
What's going on?
That's where everybody starts fucking. I'm out of here. Yeah.
Well, apparently they had some issues prior to the turret fight, and the tank had just dropped group, or they kicked the tank. I'm not entirely sure. It was a couple of Sentinels, the Marauder equivalent to, dual wielding lightsaber guys. Interestingly, and I find this a lot, and I do mean a lot, on the Republic side, where everybody's wearing the smugglers battle master gear, and then they put their PvE augments into it, so everybody gets to wear the fedora and the long cape, which I really do think is an awesome outfit, so I can't bitch about it. But it threw me off when I realized they were Sentinels who pulled out lightsabers.
Yeah.
So I'm getting in there, and they're recovering from a wipe, and I'm running up, and they had skirted the first group where the wrecked planes are. They had skirted the second group at the back, and that's actually what they were fighting when I showed up, because they had run back in from another wipe, and someone apparently fell off on the side of one of the shuttles, and we go in, and we take down the first group, no big deal. I pull the second group, which is on the other side of the turret, and I say, everybody knows this fight, right? Apparently not, because they didn't bother responding in the middle of fighting the group that you should down before you get on the turret.
That one mob that's off the side.
Yeah, the first group, or that second group there. Before that ever got killed, the turret starts firing behind me.
Uh-oh.
And I turn around, and I go, what the...
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what do you mean? I jumped on the gun. You have to jump on the gun. Yes, you do.
But not until you clean the mobs up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, dude, okay, obviously that was a quick wipe.
Yeah.
Second time we went in, and I said, okay, this time listen to me very carefully, please. Please listen to me. I said, everybody stand behind me on the gun so that the healer can AoE heal, and I'll work the guns. Focus down the silvers and any golds that show up, and knock back the bloateds like I told you. And, of course, they decide, because they're just like Marauders, they're jumping into groups to the left and to the right, and completely shit on the plan, so we wipe again. And I said, one more time, stack behind the gun and kill shit as it gets to the gun.
Yep.
And then they started listening, so we got it down on the third attempt. And it kind of blows my mind, because I do from time to time skirt mobs to begin with, but when you go into a run and you really, I mean, you're overgeared, you should be able to do this, or so you think, but you don't listen, that's when shit falls apart.
Yeah.
And to have gone that many rolls without it working out, you would think you'd just take the dude's fucking advice. But it took, 2 extra wipes for them to stop, listen, and do.
Yep.
But, I mean, it ended up working out in the long run, so no real harm, no foul. I got a second Kalumi drop because I got a Kalumi token off the last boss. And, when I got that one, I ended up buying a headpiece for one of my alts.
Yeah.
So that was good.
What?
I hear that shit, motherfucker.
I had a stretch, man.
Yeah. Leather chair, huh? But, no, a lot of what I've done this week is immersing myself a bit in the news and a bit in the PTS. Of course, I get my runs, but I don't keep track because I get in and out of them so fast lately. I did hear that, we did find out that Brutus is going through some issues, so he's probably not going to be with us for the next couple of weeks. I hope whatever he's got going on gets cleaned up and he's able to, get back with us. Hope to see him either in vent or in game or just updating my Dropbox. And, it's funny. I get excited with recording the podcast every week, not just because we play the game and I enjoy it, but I get really excited because when I see response, and I know you're kind of the same way, if you see the good response from the show, whether it's the downloads on Podomatic, it's the views and likes on YouTube, to be able to see that our additional videos get a lot of hits, and I'm watching, much like the stock market, people are starting at our very, are the earliest episodes they can find of us on YouTube, and watching the show evolve.
Which is why I uploaded the episode 1, 2, 3, 4, so we could get those in the YouTube, even though it's straight audio. At least it's got the earlier shows with you and Kevin, so people can say, hey, well, let's go back to hear what they sounded like when they were good.
Yeah, and Kevin and I always talk about it, and I don't know if you're the same way, but when we get into a podcast, we'll normally go back and check out the earlier episodes. Granted, Kevin says, ours is news-based, but it doesn't really matter if it's news-based or if it's just a comedy routine. It's always cool to go back and hear the conversations between the people. That's why we go back and hear a lot of shit. I've listened to the entire grouping of Hollywood Babylon, and they passed their 1 year mark, or their 100th episode here recently. So, I went back to the very beginning, and this is Hollywood news. So I'm really excited, and I watch the downloads from our newest episodes, and I watch the downloads from our older episodes to kind of gauge where we're at overall. Yep. It intrigues me. But guys, I do have a ass ton of news. So I'll cut my week a little on the short side so we can banter between each other while serving up some of the hottest news available. Let's go ahead and queue up Pseudo if you have that ready.
Oh, you want to do Pseudo before the news?
We'll do Pseudo, and then we'll pop the news in and just banter out from there.
Okay.
Hello everyone, this is Pseudo, your Galactic Librarian, picking back up with Skyborn Chapter 1. The Spire created this stone from the flames it holds inside, and this, Adari said, picking up the other rock, was found right here outside the village, buried in the riverbed. The stones were identical. Now, the mountains ringing our plateau aren't smokers. What we call volcanoes, at least not now. But this rock being here suggests they might once have been. This whole continent, in fact, might have been created by them. Heretic. Is my mother here? Adori craned her neck, scanning the crowd. Someone tittered. Izuri took the stones from her and rustled along the perimeter of the audience. You say these stones came from below? He said, the horrible word dripping from his tongue, and created. Oh, that is cash. Then and now, The smokers are building more land all the time. But you know that all that is Kesh came from the Skyborn, Izuri said, jabbing his cane in her direction. Nothing can be born of Kesh anew. She knew, every child knew. The Skyborn were the great beings above, the closest thing the Kesh had to entities. Well, there was something closer. The Neshtavar, as the self-proclaimed sons of the Skyborn, might as well have been the Skyborn as far as life on Kesh was concerned. Kashari faith was vertical, high was mighty. The elevated were venerated. It was Izuri's Yuvak riding group that, ages before, had brought down from the lofty oceanside peaks the wisdom of the great battle of creation. Riding colossal Yuvak of crystal, the Skyborn had fought the other side in the stars. The battle raged for eons, with the other side injuring the Skyborn before being defeated. Drops of Skyborn blood fell upon the rolling black seas, forming the land that birthed the Kashari people. Adari wondered about the biology of a gigantic, sandy-blooded race, but the Neshtavar notion had something going for it. The Kashari's few maps of the land looked as if one of her kids had spilled something on them. Long, rigid peninsulas spattered in all directions, from a cluster of plateaus forming enormous, often unwalkable coastlines, and fjords enough for the Kashari to harvest marine life forever. Farther up the many rivers to the plateaus, farmers drew even more from the rich soil. The Kashari's numbers were both vast and well-fed. About the other side, Adari found the Neshtavar were incurious to a fault. That which opposed the Skyborn meant death, sickness, fire, rebellion. In no particular order, when it wasn't taking mortal form in accordance with the storyteller's needs. The other side came from below. Another element in the message of vertical faith, and that was all there was to say, given the elders' devotion to the Skyborn. Adari was surprised they hadn't hammered down who or what the other side was. But then, if they had, they'd have come up with a better name. Which wasn't stopping Izuri from invoking it repeatedly as he railed at her. Your words glorify the other side. Adari Val, it's why you are here. You are here for preaching. Teaching? Telling these lies about the great battle to your acolytes? Acolytes? They're students. She searched the crowd for familiar faces. Her students had ducked out the day before when the things had gotten rough, but some of their parents were there. You, Ori Garin, you sent your son to the scholars because he wasn't any good at the mill. And Wertram, your daughter, everyone here in Tov, do you think the village is going to fall into a hole because I talked to your children about some rocks? Okay, everyone, tune in next week for the continuation of Skyborn, Chapter 1.
We're back, by the way, in case you're not listening.
I didn't see the finger play. Sorry,
That's because you were looking somewhere else. I went, look,
oh, yeah.
Go.
Oh,
Go.
Oh, well, see, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You're fucking shaking your hand, you dick.
He's got a limp
sorry.
wrist.
I got wrapped up in Pazak, dude. I got to make sure that's on my main screen next time. Oh, so I actually won a hand of Pizak. I was talking to our Duke Brutus or Joe the Laura Monger, and I actually I was talking to him earlier in the week, and you know he told me that basically Pizak is like 21. You can go bonus, you can go plus, so on and so forth. So you're basically aiming for 21, and even though you ran out of cards, you didn't necessarily lose the entire hand. You can you hit in turn and wait for your next card. You know.
Well, I was looking at that. It had the plus this, minus this, plus that, minus that, which reminds me a lot of card counting when you play blackjack.
Yeah, it does require a little bit more math than usual, but it was actually a lot of fun. One thing I want to touch on before we get into the actual news is we forgot our guild names of the week. Now, I was going to pull your opinion on these beforehand so that I could pick the two best of them, but instead I unfortunately have to default to my choices. On the pub side, we have Warheads on Four Heads. Okay. Which I thought was great. It was a great nerd reference. You know, and if I remember correctly, it's kind of an old school reference because of that. And then the other one, and I'm kind of tossing it up. I'm gonna have to go with "You're Invited to the Pants Party." Well, you want the runner-up?
Yeah, give us the runner-up.
Dark Lords of Office Work.
That's not bad.
Yeah, those are both Imperial side guilds that I ran across this last week. And I tell you, man, the Imps got to up their game, dude. I've got several more in the hole for the Republic side, and I'm running low on Imperials. So if anybody has an Imperial guild or is in a guild that they find has an amusing name, obviously from listening to the other shows, you may have guessed what I find to be amusing. But yeah, those are the names that I found this week. So we'll scoot on into the news.
Here's your galactic news. Look what you missed while you were sleeping.
As he gives me the big finger in the screen. All right, so, you know, it might be a little late to the party, but hey, guys, you might not have heard. And if you haven't, too bad. So Disney has acquired Lucasfilms from the sound of things.
$4 billion.
$4.05 billion. It appears they've pretty much got almost every Lucas asset. It says they've, according to the news on IGN, it says under the deal, Disney will acquire ownership of Lucasfilms, a leader in the entertainment and innovative technology, including the massively popular and evergreen Star Wars franchise and its operating businesses in live-action film and production, consumer products, animation, visual effects, and audio post-production. Disney will acquire a substantial portfolio of cutting-edge entertainment and technologies that have kept audiences enthralled for many years. Lucasfilms, headquartered in San Francisco, operates under the names Lucas Limited, Lucas Arts, Industrial Light and Magic,
ILM,
and Skywalker Sound. And the present intent is for Lucasfilm employees to remain in their current locations. Now, this is actually the talk of the server that we are on right now.
Talk of the Twitter, too. Twitterverse went crazy over it.
Yeah, apparently people all over Twitter are both pissed and happy for this sort of events. Now, I'm not a super-duper Star Wars fan. As I said before, I am a super-duper, Star Wars The Old Republic fan, but the franchise as a whole, not so much. And now the businesses run there under, obviously you're a fan. They've been part of damn near every major motion picture, whether it's designing.
ILM has their fingers in everything. Even the new Star Trek has been all ILM, and some of the old stuff too. So I mean, ILM's big. Skywalker Sound is big. All those are, just the Star Wars stuff by itself. The rights to make more live action films, that's big. But you pick up ILM, Skywalker Sound, Lucas Arts, which SWTOR is under.
Yeah, I mean, it does give the possibility of more money or more direction being found with the Disney label. Of course, we did hear really odd items in like apparently under the deal they also will have the distribution rights for episodes 7, 8, and 9, which apparently Lucas is working on. Now, hopefully they do have a bit of control so we don't end up seeing, I don't know, Jar Jar coming the fuck back.
Darth Mickey.
Darth Mickey. We don't need a Darth Hannah Montana.
Hey, what? SWTOR. One of our SWTOR Republic, the Facebook people. I can't think of what they're called now.
SWTOR Strategies.
They tweeted on there that now Princess Leia has become one of the Disney princesses. So it'll be in the box set now. Ariel and all Cinderella and Leia.
But there's some good possibilities as to whether or not it will directly affect the game. Probably not. EA is still the big sponsor behind that. LucasArts has lent its right to EA and BioWare to make that make the game happen. So whether or not Disney will backdoor the guys at EA, we can hope, and get more money and more interest into the project. But EA, according to their conference call, says that the game is still looking fairly strong. They look to the free-to-play option to bring even more people into the game. And from the way, I was looking at the Cartel, a lot more people are going to pay to play because it will be cheaper than going free-to-play, which sounds horridly ironic, but whatever. And, of course, we did get the updated news. They dropped a little post here on the 24th, so almost a week ago, but still right after the show. Life Day is coming, and from the sounds of things, Life Day will be mirrored to Christmas this year. They have a Life Day orb. It says a traditional Life Day orb that you can use to commemorate the Life Day holiday. There's going to be a Life Day Hollow Tree, Life Day vestments that they haven't actually put the mapping out for, but I can only hope that it's an actual Santa Claus or a dark elf outfit. I think that would be hilarious. I
want to wear a Wookiee outfit.
Well,
skin a Wookiee so I can have my little skin a Wookiee so I can have my footy pajamas.
But it only took almost a year of me bitching and ranting about how I want Life Day brought to the Star Wars verse to actually see that at the very least it is coming. And from the sounds of things, it's coming a lot quicker than than some of the other things like HK's 1.5, which is probably going to fall around Christmas. The Cathar probably around January. So at least Christmas season is when that looks like it's going to be in.
Would it be the right time though?
It can be.
Oh, it doesn't matter, I guess, huh?
Hey, your neighbor's alarms are going off.
Is that on my side or yours?
That's yours.
Okay.
All right. For those who don't know, the link from Wikipedia states Life Day was a Wookiee holiday celebrated by the inhabitants of Kashyyyk. Every 3 years, it was a celebration of the planet's diverse ecosystem and the many forms of life it encompassed. It also was a time to remember family members who had died and young ones who continued to bring new life to a family. Life Day was a sacred holiday, and many Wookiees considered it their duty to return to Kashyyyk in order to celebrate it. So maybe they'll really get on the ball, and this will entune them to possibly bring us the Wookiee homeworld. I wouldn't hold your breath on that. Yeah. I wouldn't hold your breath on that, but we have many characters in-game who have been involved in great hunts on Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
And Quaizon Fez, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, definitely a cool thing to look forward to. You could check out Darth Hater's site, which is where I pulled it from, or if you'd like, you can go and check it out directly on Wikipedia. A great resource for all things fan-based in Star Wars. Now, we did have a patch this week, somewhat on the minimal side, but there's some notes that I'm really happy to hear about, some things that we reported on during the show that kind of pissed us off. Now, to start things off, of course they do go through possible class differences. Now, there's the Jedi Knight. It says under General for Jedi Knight, the visual effects of awe which is supposed to be a distraction method or a confusion method. Display more quickly and better match the ability's effect. And awe is just like a flashbang. So there you go.
Okay.
Now, apparently in Kadamimu, they fixed an issue where riding the taxi inside the flashpoint would cause your client to crash. I never experienced that myself, but I always use the Slicer's terminal, which gets you the fast-paced movement. It gets you all around almost all the, a good quarter of the ad, so I like that. One thing that we can all appreciate, or most of us can, in the weekly galactic operation now rewards 15 black hole comms, up from 8. The weekly crisis points, that being doing the I think it's like a third of the Assation raid, now gives you 20 black hole comms, and doing the weekly operations, those being EV and Karaga's Palace on hard difficulty, gets you 10 additional black hole comms.
Nice.
Over in EC, which is known also, I believe, as Assation, Denova, thank you. It says Warlord Kefis now drops additional black hole comms in story mode, 2 additional pieces in 8-man, and 4 additional in 16, so you can still go in there and get some decent comms at the very end of it. In Karaga's Palace, it says Dressler Turbo now is now the Dressler Turbo, which is the mop that I didn't pick up. It's well, according to the visual on here, the Dressler Turbo is now a guaranteed drop from Karaga the Unyielding in Nightmare mode. So that's definitely not the one I got. It's the upgraded one, upgrade of the Corvette, as you like to call it.
It looks like a Corvette. It's cool looking.
Let's see. Mini bosses in Nightmare mode now have a chance to drop the Thrall Droid, which is basically a mousebot pet. And, of course, my boy Lanyard's favorite helm, Karaga's Unyielding helm, now drops on many of the Nightmare bosses. Yes.
What?
On many Nightmare bosses. So any run you go into, you have a chance to get an unmodified or unaugmented or unmodified version of the helmet.
Well, it's unmodified anyway when it drops off Karaga.
So I mean, it does open up the chances for you. Not that you'll get nightmares very often. But
I've got Lanyard has one.
Okay. Well, you got one.
It looks stupid on him. I wanted Landry to wear it, but I can't give it to him.
Let's see. In Terror from Beyond, the hyper beacons now despawn when the Terror from Beyond transitions from Phase 1 to Phase 2 in 8 and 16-man mode. Terror from Beyond now additionally drops black hole pieces in story mode, 2 additional pieces. Now it says pieces, but if it's black hole gear or if it's black hole drops, like coins. But it says 2 additional pieces on 8-man story mode and 4 additional pieces on 16-man story mode. As to where exactly it drops, it doesn't say, but throughout the raid.
I hope it's on one of the trash mobs you guys all skip.
And you know what's funny is in Terror from Beyond, you don't only skip some of the trash, you actually have to go around because there are chests all over the instance.
Yep.
They're just out in the ether.
Yep.
So sometimes you're going and getting those and skipping people because of it.
Newsflash, there's chests in all the flashpoints too that most people don't go get.
That's true. Let's see. Now under Group Finder, it says Group Finder now asks players to confirm requests to leave the backfill queue. That being like, if you're trying to get into a queue of already started instances, or if you don't want to be in one of those already started instances, it says leaving the queue will now disable your queue group button if you find an active player. So, no, that would then infer that you're in a group and someone leaves.
Still wish they would make it to where if you're in a looking for group, okay, and you get a group together and you go running and somebody DCs or somebody pouts and leaves. Okay, that you should be able to just invite one of your guildies or just call out and say, hey, you want to come run this? Okay, no problem. And just invite them and bring them into the fold. They won't get the looking for group bonus, but you can bring them in. But no, they can't. You can't do that. Everybody has to drop group, get out of looking for group, invite the guy, then reset. It's a pain in the fucking ass.
Or have your buddy queue up and hope
the guy
off like what I did with KP.
Somebody else will. Yeah, hopefully he pops in, yeah.
All right, and additionally it says the update roll button is now disabled by default When an invalid group dialog appears, it is enabled once the roles have been updated. The role icon and name of the player being vote kicked is now correctly displayed. An issue that could cause groups to required backfill to lose progress has been corrected. So apparently, if you got somebody off of somebody just joined the group in progress, possibly seeing your ads respawn or bosses, which would be kind of weird.
Okay.
An issue that could cause players to fail to receive their daily rewards has been corrected.
Hell yeah.
Previously, players were not considered queued random when the group's leader had active lockouts, even if the group was queued for random content. So I can kind of understand that ish.
Yeah, because KP, when I did my KP daily, it didn't give me my black holes. In fact,
Yeah.
I found that a lot of people said the same thing. It wasn't giving the black holes. It locked you out as if you did it, but
Right.
it didn't complete the daily, and it didn't give you the black holes.
So hopefully that will have corrected that issue. Under the missions, world missions, it says Darker Than Dark. This mission no longer updates one of its steps prematurely. So apparently it was giving you a little bit more than it should have. Class missions under
That's what
the
she
Inquisitor. It says Financing the Enemy. B44's subtitles now progress with a readable speed, which I have noticed that depending on the captions, if you put them on, which I do because I don't listen to the sound all the time, they'll come up and they're too fast to read for me.
You gotta be a speed reader.
Yeah.
I like how they do on some of the I guess you could say foreign languages.
Yeah.
Where I love how they do it in it's like a real foreign language. It says something like "Yes, Commander," but he goes "Yes, Commander."
Let's see. It's under NPCs. It says several probe droids that previously displayed a fictionally incorrect Zerka skin have been updated to the correct appearance.
Okay.
So I guess that's good. Under War Zones, it says the matchmaking system no longer occasionally places players into an empty match.
That would suck. I win.
Well, it depends on which side you got fucked on. Because if there was like everybody had left the match
And you
already lost, or like if it was still like somebody was just hanging out in queue and you got put into an match, oh, that would suck balls.
Well, it depends. It gets your daily done quick.
Maybe if they won.
Well, or if you lost, even that's one less.
Well, no,
loss
because
you
have to get 3 medals before it's
right.
considered active in the run.
That's
so you're
right.
shit out of luck.
You are.
Let's see. Players no longer occasionally enter a state that prevents them from joining new groups after participating in a war zone, which is good. Hutball, it says an issue that could cause the team scoreboards to unintentionally be switched has been corrected. Now, you, me, and Pseudo have all had this happen. Yep. There was one time you didn't believe me that it was that way.
It showed it right on mine. It just showed it wrong on yours and Pseudo's.
And it was showing, that it shows. It says your team, your team is here, and you're the rot dogs or the rotworms, and you're actually on, the other team, the frog dogs, and like when the beam's there, it's your teammate, but it still shows the wrong team.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that pissed Pseudo off.
You know what I think
they fucking fixed this a long fucking time ago. God damn it!
I think they should introduce safeties as well. Because I've seen so many people grab the ball and run the wrong way.
Oh, yeah. That would throw some fun functionality into it. Let's see.
Because you grab the ball and then you knock the opposing team gets the ball on the goal line, then you knock them into your own goal and get 2 points. Or half a point, or I guess it's because it's only 1 point at a time. But
well, hell, I'd take it for 2 points.
Right?
That's a moment of complete stupidity.
Yeah.
Like, your idea is to pull the other guy away. Why the fuck are you trying to kill him at the goal line? Right. Push him the fuck away from the goal.
Right.
Let's see. Under UI, it says the chat color wheel now functions correctly again.
That's to change the color of your chat. So, like, say you want, I don't know, PvP to be fuchsia. It'll work. So.
Let's see. The UI no longer no longer appears briefly over the loading screens. Yes, that wasn't a big problem.
Is that recently fixed? Is this?
Yes, this is this week. This is today.
Okay.
But it's good that they fixed that. That was kind of a funky ass thing because I was caught off guard. I thought maybe my game was freezing a couple times. It's just been it really does get frustrating when you see shit like that happen.
Yep.
Myself, I guess it doesn't matter all the time, but it definitely helps out.
Yeah, you'll see it. You see it. If people don't know what, I'm sure people know what the hell we're talking about because it happens to everybody. So.
Let's see. As far as miscellaneous bug fixes goes, it says a additional method for Imperial players to reach Anchorhead. A potential method for Imperial players to reach Anchorhead on Tatooine has been corrected. So it looks like we can't farm you guys at Anchorhead anymore.
That just means you have to come through the front door.
Yeah.
And if you get past the guards, you can run around town all you want. Because the NPCs don't attack you.
No, they're just perfectly happy with not fucking with you. Which I think is funny. And I do and I don't miss this thing now. For people who played a while, and I don't know if it was the same way with Rift or maybe Secret World, if you went into an opposing faction zone, like their town, you may get past the guards, but what would happen is they had stealth NPCs.
Yeah,
they would pop out at max level and be elite so that you couldn't kill them.
Yeah.
It was literally impossible even to rape.
They changed that when Cataclysm came out, or, well, I think Lich came. But it used to be you could sit there and farm the hell out of them. They would just spawn, and you would just, they would just spawn, the guards would be, I think, max level for the zone.
Right.
So, and you could farm Crossroads all day.
Yeah. And even at Crossroads, there still lacks the ability, or the last time I played WoW, it still lacked the ability for those guards to be there.
Yeah,
so
the 95 would show up like 30 or 40 seconds into it. So you could get through the entire town, but you'd have to
wipe out the quest givers and everything.
Yeah.
Now, there are other bugs. Some text errors, such as typos or missing translations, have been corrected. Some minor art and cinematic issues have been corrected. Some instances where mood emotes caused facial overlapping or overlapping with some head slot items
that would be fun.
Used with action emotes have been corrected. So
you know what I can't understand?
Stop.
Somebody's wearing a mask, and you can tell it's like a solid mask, like a ventilator. Why is it when they talk that the ventilator moves?
Not really sure. I mean, I guess it would have possible flex with the. I mean,
with the chin, maybe.
You could move your jaw without moving.
But then they'll have full face masks, and the mask moves. The sand people. That's so racially charged. The Tusken Raiders outfit.
Yeah.
That doesn't move. Even in the thing, it's just a solid wrap with a ventilator to keep the sand out of your face, right?
Right.
So your mouth moves behind all that. But if you watch them in the game, it talks. Why does it do that?
Well, I mean, the whole thing... Well, I guess it would be harder to program the thing moving independently, like the bottom portion only.
You just don't have your face move.
I guess. Maybe. But that concludes the 1.4.3 patch notes.
1.4.3.8.
Yeah, so we'll move into the much more interesting and slightly more aggravating 1.5 patch notes. Yes, the PTS patch notes have been updated. Amber Green was happy to provide us with the status of this situation and let us know that they've updated the items on the patch. Now, this is a bone of contention. I told Lanyard I kind of felt bad last episode, and even in some of the videos, because while I am a supporter of the free-to-play and some of the things it will bring to the game, I have also been ridiculously over the top with my attitude. Now, I'm a pay-to-play person. I put that out on the front. I always say it every week. I'm happy paying to play my games. I don't really care whether or not it's free-to-play. I'm still going to pay monthly and be a preferred subscriber, or however you want to put it. It's going to be me. That's just how I'm doing it. And Lanyard, of course, has been paying from day one and had tooled with the idea of going free-to-play, but knows that it's much better to be a pay-to-play member than it appears to be that it's going to be a free-to-play member. But it's going to open up enough of the game that they hope they were expecting free-to-players will roll over and come to pay-to-play. Now, there are some things, obviously, that are issuable, and I've went over some of those, but we'll cover the notes and we'll do our banter during that portion, because this is definitely going to be some things of contention. All right, Lanyard, deep breath. You ready for this shit? All right. So, obviously, Cartel and Free-to-Play are in this current patch. First note here says, prices on the Cartel items have been adjusted as we continue to review the feedback. Now, I'll post a video to tell you whether or not they went up or went down, and it's questionable. It's, my biggest thing about them going down is I'm hoping that the items that are vanity are going down a bit. I don't see a need for some of the pricing the way they are. Now, it also has conversations now display the proper number of social points when awarded when social boost is active, which is one of the purchasable options from the Cartel. Now, this is, me and you, we're big on shopping. We want to see what everything does. We want to try on a bunch of clothes. And we had this issue when we were updating our UI. So very important. Players can no longer become AFK while in the Cartel market.
Handy.
Very important. Free-to-play players now have access to second quick bar for abilities, which I thought one quick bar. Well, and here's my thing.
It is stupid. I admit, I watched your video, man. I'm like, you get one fucking bar. That's retarded. That's not even the basic. The basic is 2.
Yeah.
Well, 2 with the flip if you're
right.
You have to go into cover, but. Yeah, I was like, wow, I was laughing. I was like, that's where I put in, that's why I put in that, now you're going to have to pay to walk.
But, I was like, well, one quick bar, and so I logged in on my, because here's the deal. All right, I logged into the PTS, and I knew that they changed it to the pay-to-play model, right? And they said you had to pay for additional quick bars. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't need bar 6, 5 and 6.
5 and 6, right.
That, to me, made sense. That was, that's something that you just would think, okay, well, they don't need 6 bars. The pay-to-players might need them. So, okay. No. It's literally, you started out with one fucking action bar, and I logged on to Naga, and I'm like, oh, fuck, what's wrong with my UI?
Hey, it could have been worse. They could have said, here's your button. If you want more buttons, it's 150 credits to fucking button.
Oh, God, I don't even want to think about that.
You just earned your companion.
But I was.
Arik Jorgen is requesting 250 credits to fucking play.
But you don't understand. I literally log in and I've been on it to do the videos, and there's 4 bars on my first video, and I go to do it again, and I got 1 bar, and I'm thinking, oh shit, my UI's jacked up. So I go and I check my UI settings. I close. I go between them, and I was flipping out, and I'm like.
Yep, that's exactly when the other day I logged on to the PTS when I first downloaded it. And I wanted to check out the Cartel, and I wanted to run around and do and I wanted to go check out the new zone, whatever the new daily zone is, X Planet.
Section X.
And I was like, I'm going to go do that with Lanyard because he's not geared to do anything else. So we'll go check that out. And I downloaded the whole thing, and then the next day I went to log into it, and it was another patch. I was like, okay, fuck it. And that was the patch that made everybody free to play. And I logged on, and I had 1 bar. I couldn't open my bank. I couldn't go to any of the zones. I couldn't wear the shit I was wearing. It put it in my bags. I'm standing there in my fucking underwear, and I'm like, what the hell? And I lock on my thing, and it's all modifiable. I'm not wearing it. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, no. I logged out. I said, fuck that. I'll let somebody else fuck with that. No.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you're level 50, and what are you going to do? You're in purples, or you're in, augmented gear.
Already in my Ricotta
Can we
Plus
just
gear.
make an exception for the shit I came in here wearing? That's like saying if you're not in a suit and tie, and you show up to a restaurant in a suit and tie, and they will say, sir, your tie's not straight, get naked before you can come in. Yeah. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, and it was like, I think, yeah, I mean, the only thing I had was my trinkets in my earpiece. The weapon wasn't usable. My clothes weren't wearable, and it's all in my bags. And of course, I can't access my bags. So it's like, this is fucking stupid. I said, I'm not doing this. And then I started laughing. I'm like, boy, these free to players, and I had a friend of mine because I had taken a picture and posted on. I'm getting a little off track, but I put a poster. I put a picture of Suiza to show off my pink gear because I have not. I'm the only person to see pink gear, and I've seen other people wearing the slave top. But it's like white. They transfers everything to white or gold, and I'm the only one I've seen that's wearing pink so far. So I don't know if I got like the special, for Victoria's Secrets version or what. So I showed that on Facebook, and then somebody says, "Oh wow, a lot of people playing. Look at that!" And then he says, "I'm thinking about coming back because I wanted to check out the storyline." And I told him, I said, "Well, it's going free to play. That's all you're going to be able to do. Check out the storyline. That's it. Because everything else, if you want to do anything." Throw some coins.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see that because as far as the quick bars go, I honestly think you should get at least give it what you give. Right. Give us what you gave us at the start. Okay, we had 4 quick bars.
At least the 2, and the flip for
we had 4 at the beginning. Let us keep that. Let's see. I'm going to go a little further because there's another quick bar thing in here that was kind of funny. Let's see. It says the tooltip for the guild bank unlock now indicates that the guilds must already have a bank to use this item. So once again, you can have a guild and buy a bank, but apparently you can't use it until you buy a passport to get into the bank. So apparently, due to the Geneva Convention...
It's a banking fee.
Due to the Darth Convention, there's been a stigma... You've got to hold off on your bank usage. You can completely look at the fact that there's a blank screen, but until you can see into the bank, you have to pay a bank usage cleaning fee. Let's see,
the Lehman Brothers cartel is keeping you away from the...
Oh, that's horrible. The players now see correct text when confirming purchases of items with multiple options.
Did you say correct tags?
Text. Like
text.
Some of the items that you can purchase on the cartel can be purchased for an individual, or it can be purchased for your entire legacy.
For your account.
Like the gear unlock item. Shit like that.
So you don't have to buy the modifiable gear pass
license.
Everything. It's an automatic for across your legacy.
Well, you can buy it for that one character if you choose to, or you can buy it for your entire account.
Oh, there's the option of buying it for the account or for just an individual. That's right.
And it has options like that on bags. There's options like that for banks. Just
titles.
Titles, legacy names.
You want to see your legacy name? Throw me some cake, bitch.
Which I don't know, man.
You just earned the title, but you can't use it until you pay for it.
You finish the fucking storyline. Isn't that work enough? I mean, if you think about it, leveling up to 50 now. And
you want people to see. You want to add this guy to your friends list? Pay 5 credit.
Way off the rails, but you have to pay for your legacy name, and they've already stipulated. And I haven't seen an adjustment. We'll go through the rest of this before I go through a complete tangent on it, but. You can't get your legacy name without an unlock. You can't get your titles without an unlock. And then, to add insult to injury, you level at a slower pace, even doing story and class missions. So I think if you really do level at a slower pace, by God, you've earned the titles. You've really earned your fucking legacy by 30. But okay, let's get back to the story here.
You've finished Ord Mantell. You're level 3.
It says descriptions for species unlocked items in the cartel now more clearly reflect that the item unlocks the corresponding species for legacy. So this is the species unlock that someone had asked about before, that being, can you buy the different races?
Right. And they still haven't added Cathar, have they?
No. Subscribers, preferred status, and free-to-play players now see the correct unbind timers for market items. Subscribers now see an unbind time of 36 hours for newly purchased cartel items. Free-to-play and preferred status players see an unbind time of 48 hours for newly purchased items. That being like if you wanted to, say, you were trying something out, you bought a pet or you bought a piece of gear and you want to sell it back to the cartel. they stay bound to you, and you cannot sell them to a vendor. You cannot sell them back to the cartel. You cannot do anything with them
for a certain amount of time.
Right, unless of course you bought it to wear it right away, and then it augments. And once you put your mods, augments, and patches in, right. Yeah. Just like any other piece of gear on the auction house.
So if it's sitting in your mailbox or sitting in your bags, wherever it shows up, then you have that amount of time to change your mind.
Right. Which I think is a good thing, because at the price some of the stuff is on the cartel,
right. You accidentally buy a pink gem when you wanted the smuggler's kit. Oops.
Right.
Yeah.
Cartel items now display cooldown information in the tooltips where appropriate. Tooltips now inform players that that subscribers have full access to the unlocks given by weekly pass items. So hopefully this will actually update to us. And hopefully that means that we'll be able to get in all the PvP or whatever we end up running on the PTS. Probably not. Tooltips in the cartel market now properly display for players who have already purchased items they are viewing. So if you've got something in your bag, you've purchased something, and you go to buy it a second time, it's fixed so that you no longer have to worry about buying something twice if you didn't want to. Now under the items, the Slate Mouse Horenth mini pet now has the correct appearance, which is good. I haven't bought that one yet because it's a cum stain pet. I don't like pets that are just white. So hopefully that means that there's more than just the white to the pet.
It has 4 legs now.
Whoop-de-doo. Give me a 5th leg and a jibble and I'll care. The cartel market item Legacy perk improved speeder piloting 3 now properly states its level as 35, and which, if I remember correctly, that puts it down 5 levels.
Stage 3, yeah, because you're talking about the Legacy purchase.
Yeah, because it was 40.
It was 10, 20, no, it was 10, 30, 40.
Yeah.
So now it's 10, 25, 35?
Maybe. Yeah. Let's see. The weekly pass operations from Cartel. Now the timer now displays as intended in the lockouts tab, so it'll tell you whether or not you can get into ops for a week, and it gives you the right amount of time for that. Let's see. Major war zone. Hold on. Skipped one. Did I skip one? Maybe. No. Yep. Players who use the weekly pass operations now see the correct error message if they attempt to enter an operation instance alone. So apparently people were buying the operations and just going in and walking in and saying what's up to everybody inside. I don't know, dude.
And if you're going to be in here, start shooting shit.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Illegal man on the field. Extra player.
The major Warzone experience and minor Warzone experience now display a buff on the character when active. That way, if you're using your experience tokens, which you do get in the black market cartel boxes, quite liberally, by the way, so that you'll see that you have that buff and don't try to reactivate one when it's already there and waste them. The tooltip for major and minor exploration experience buff, I knew it was coming. Boosts in the cartel market no longer incorrectly state that the player will receive increased class mission experience. Well, that's good for an exploration token. Not to give extra class experience. Derp. Black market cartel packs are now bound to players upon purchase, which is the lesser version of the Crime Lords items. Apparently, however, Crime Lords packets will no longer have relics in them, which is kind of sad. I kind of thought that was cool that was an option. Being that there are so many relics in the game, it'd be nice to have a relic or two that just show up at random. But I think if you make it, you put an item like a relic in there, it makes it a necessity to buy those items. That falls under the pay-to-win logic and I have to buy these just so I can get the best item in the game type of logic. Right. So I do like the fact that they fixed that.
Right.
The item names for sable fur and ruddy scale Kuwakin monkey lizard items are no longer interchanged. Well, can we get something short?
I want a monkey lizard.
Can I get something shorter than Ruddy Scale Kuwakin Monkey Lizard? Jesus. Can I? Fuck. I mean, I'm not good with names in the first place.
Well, what the fuck is a runny scale? I mean,
Ruddy Scale Kuwakin Monkey Lizard. Would you stop making me say the fucking name, you dick? God.
RSQML.
Oh my God. It's not a Q, it's a K.
Oh, it's a K?
Yeah.
RSKML.
Kawakin.
Riskable.
Kawakian. Oh, fuck it. Anyway, armor sets and weapons from the cartel packs now have cartel market symbol in their icons.
Ah, handy.
Let's see. Oh, this was the other thing I was talking about when we were trying to get past that first bar issue. Class and combat. The cover bar is now accessible to free-to-play Imperial agents and smugglers.
Yay!
That's right. Your major fucking game mechanic for those two classes would have been a purchasable item.
You want duck and cover? Pay for it.
You want to find shelter? Fuck you. You want to find shelter? Well, you can't fire back now.
That's right.
Okay. Now here's one that's
going to making us pay for each fire blast. That's a credit per blast.
These are spent shells.
Spent shells. You can't use them. If you want to reload.
It'd be like buying arrow or bullets on WoW. Remember?
Hey, that was cool.
It was cool until they got rid of it.
Until they wiped my half a million of those high level bullets that I
bought
had made.
So many Saronite arrows, it wasn't funny. And then I come back after a patch and they were gone.
I had the Saronite bullets, and I was so stoked because I made like half a million of them. I was like, I'm never gonna run out. And the very fucking next day, they were grays. And sold for like a gold a stack. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You know how much money I spent on Saronite to make this fucking... Anyways.
Talk about unfulfilled dreams, a trinket that never was.
Yeah.
And, okay, so here's one I'm kind of befuddled by, and maybe you can help me out, Lanny. It says companion characters. HK41's gear now scales to the unlocked character's level when unlocking the companion as a character perk.
So now, apparently you haven't done the quest yet. So
well, I know that once you do it on a 50, that it comes into your legacy, but I didn't quite understand the idea of unlocking it as a perk. Because if my mind's reading it right, what that means is when you unlock HK on your 50, and you decide on your level 15 character that you need a pet.
So when you get HK,
it becomes part of your legacy. So you can unlock it on every character.
So I guess that just means that if you're a level 15 and you want HK, it becomes a level 15 HK.
Here's a weird one for you.
It would be great if it was level 50 HK.
Well, that's just it. If you unlocked it at 50 on your other characters. Right. But here's one for you. Let's say I just landed on Ord Mantell.
Okay.
And I don't like the fact that it's taking me forever to kill things. I unlock HK51 at level 1. Now I have a friend to fight with me until I get my first companion.
Eric, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Clyde.
Does that not fuck up the playfield? I mean, that would be crazy.
That'd be awesome. It would be better, though. I mean, I've fought HK. I think everybody has fought in HK in I think,
his 3 or 4 iterations.
2 or 3 flashpoints.
Yeah.
And he is a bitch. I mean, he fucking rips. I mean, you have to take 4 fuckers to take him down, right? I guarantee our companion won't be that tough.
Well,
because that would be awesome. I mean, I could actually do my heroics on Ilum. Yeah, fuck with HK.
my big thing for that is on the starter levels is where we end up meeting a lot of the people we have as game-long friends.
Yes.
You know, I mean, granted, yeah, we make a lot of friends at 50 because we're out looking for runs.
Right.
But, you know, that's where you start making the buddy system. You know, you get in there, you're like, hey, dude, I see you're having a trouble. You want to
add him to your friends
group
list, and down the road, you see him on a planet. Hey, you want to do... Yeah, absolutely.
Now, to me, that kind of removes some of that MMO. I mean, we got HK now. we were able to almost take things down on Ord Mantell by ourselves to begin with. We added a friend to the fray, and we got some more. We got shit killed even faster. Now, if you have HK, that makes you a 3-man party or a 2-man wrecking crew, you know, and completely kills some of the. Oh, I don't know. That's speculation.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, there are a lot of people. You know, if you know, one of these days, if I get bored and want to level a character again, which will be a long time down the road, I might just try to level him without ever using my companion. If you think about it, if you don't use your companion and you play like other MMOs that don't have a companion, I think you become a better class mechanic because you learn your mechanics better because you have to know how to save your ass when you're getting chewed up.
Well, and I respect that. I find it kind of queer that they're going at it from the direction that they are.
I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with either way. That's one of the first things I'll be working on with lanyards.
Yeah, inevitably too.
I think everybody will be doing that, but
I don't know. Well, let's keep on strolling here.
Okay, moving on.
See, it says crew skills missions now grant crew skill missions now grant the correct rewards. Well, that's always important. Hate to send him out for a scavenging mission, and he comes back with a slicing item.
Red goo.
Yeah.
The fuck is
I
this?
told you to get
I was on my way.
Son of a bitch. Well, while I was there, I was sitting down at the bar, and someone stole my aluminoid, so I went ahead and stole his red goo. That sounded like a dirty cantina you went to.
Were you on Tatooine again?
Free-to-play players will find a reduced advancement rate when crafting orange, yellow, and green difficulty schematics. Subscribers will no longer see. Subscribers will see no change in the advancement rate of crafting the same item. So what they're saying is, if you were crafting orange or yellow, that being the difficulty,
you have to crank out more of them to move.
Yeah. Basically, they'll be having to crank out oranges as fast as we crank out yellows or greens to get the same amount of XP or the same amount of crew skill out of.
But they can only have one crew skill anyway.
Right. Well, yeah.
Unless they purchase.
I'll keep my mouth shut. I think that's something they still have to purchase. I'm not entirely sure. I have to go a little further down.
Okay.
Let's see. The other item, of course, it says the cost of adding an augment slot to an item that has been increased for free-to-play players. So right now it's 30 for the augment number 6 on my gear. How much more could they really blast that up at 50? I guess I'll just have to check.
35.
Well, 35. They could go retarded and do 50. For fuck's sake, they didn't want to give us 2 goddamn action bars.
What do you care? You're not doing free-to-play.
Yeah, but there's a certain amount of dissuading that you do when you get 18 skills and you're like level 25. And you're like, oh my god, these are all awesome skills. I want to play a healer, but I need to survive when I'm out in the open. Let me flip the 2 bars back and forth so I can kill shit. You
can always purchase another bar.
Yeah, at $1.50 a piece. Microtransactions. Under the legacy system, it says each rank of the legacy experience perks now grant 6% experience as opposed to the gradual increase of 2, 4, 6, 8, and apparently 10. So legacy experience is going to be kind of predetermined, which is kind of okay. The possible bonus from legacy perks is still 30% in each category. So we're talking the legacy unlocks that we bought through the legacy system, that being Warzone experience, class experience. It now grants it by apparently factors of 6. It says each rank is a factor of 6 as opposed to being tiered between 2 and 10, which is good. It means it kind of, in the overall, it will grant the same amount, but it bumps it up per piece. So it's 6%, 6%, 6% across 5, which is 30, or as opposed to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that ends up being 30 anyway. So gives it a fairer, more gradual feel to it. Let's see, PvP. The caps in war zones and ranked PvP combinations has been increased. All players can now accumulate 4,500 ranked combinations, and 2,750 Warzone combinations. That's regular Warzone combinations. While the previous max was 3 and 2, and a lot of the items that were there were more than 2,000 ranked or more than 2,000 regular Warzone points. So that's actually a really, really cool thing. As boring as it sounds. Now here's one thing, and it's showing me promise that maybe BioWare is pulling their head a little, or EA is pulling their heads a little out of their ass. The allotment for the weekly allotment for Warzones for free-to-play and preferred status players has been increased from 3 to 5. Not a huge increase.
So went from 5 to 3 to 5.
And back to 5. And see, I like the 5 to me. The 5 seems almost reasonable. The 3 just sounds like I'm going to be here for 30 minutes. I'll see you guys tomorrow, or see you guys next week. You know, and I want people to be able to get in the games, maybe make some friends.
I want people to realize that free to play is not the way to go, and buy a subscription.
I have the deep and distinct feeling that people are going to get that based on the fact that they have to buy more than 2 fucking action bars.
They have to pay to open their bank.
Yeah, and you know, and it's not like it's a warning sign. Hey, this is how much you need to pay to open this first tab. It's like, hey, pay this or you don't get the tab.
Yep.
Fucking. But I like it because you know, once again, I'm in the game for the social side, and people who pick up MMOs are there for the social side, and you cannot disagree that one of the hottest places to either engage the dumbest or some of the most fantastically funny people is in Warzones. Because you can get into a few ops and find them, and you can run a flashpoint once in a while and find them, but the really ridiculous people are always showing up in Warzones.
I don't read chat. I'm too busy dying.
Oh, dude, I pick a note, guard that shit.
In fact, most of the time my chat is turned off, because trolls are just annoying.
Because I love typing in shit like, what was it? Safara had tagged a healer as a lightsaber, and he goes, "Dude, Dildo's a healer," and I'm like, "Dildo, lightsaber?"
Lightsaber.
So the entire time I'm like, "Dude, get Dildo, he's fucking us. Hurry up, get Dildo, we're screwed. Get Dildo and Target, they're screwing us in the Rusty Share Soul." You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's cool. 3 to 5. I would like BioWare, and whether or not they can, or EA, whoever's making this decision,
Disney,
whoever it is, well, maybe Disney now, who knows? Let's all be a happy Mickey Mouse Club and open up the 5 to each.
It's a small world after all. Yeah. It's a dun 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 dun.
But you know, here's a fun one. Okay. No one does space missions. Let's give them 10 a week.
Let's get rid of them.
Let's give them 10 a week. Let's all the space missions.
I know. Free to play can do space missions.
Space missions and class missions, all they can eat. I saw that, you know, planetary space missions, all they can eat. No one plays with them, so no one will notice.
Right.
And it's the one place that people can't bitch about scrubs, right?
Right.
You know, who's going to bitch about a scrub doing this?
I got wiped on this space mission because some pug. It doesn't happen.
No.
You fucked up.
But, you know, that would be fine. I'd like to also see them open up the flashpoints to 5 a week again.
No.
Yes.
No.
5 a week, because let's face it, we're not going to end up running with them until they hit 50 in the first place. They're not going to be able to get a lot of perps, and we're talking about leveling. As gimped as they are on XP, 5 a week should be a fair trade. Now, if they want to go beyond 5 a week, they still end up paying like $5 fucking to get more than 5. So, I mean, you know, it's just like it's supersizing your combo meal. You're already paying 8. You know, you're not paying much for the
deal, supersize in New York.
Supersize. That's because there are too many fat people. Anyway, speaking of fat people, under UI, mini pets now display properly in the item preview window.
Wait a minute.
The first time it is
Speaking
open.
of fat people, UI, I'm not fat. I know you were saying you and I, but still, come on.
Hey, fuck you. That was a transition. Now this one's interesting because it says mini pets now display properly in the item preview window, and I've never seen an item preview window where we got to see a mini pet.
No, unless it was in the PTS, and you just never noticed it. You never tried to.
Never thought to.
Yeah, because it's just like trying to see your mount. I mean, what does this mount look like?
Yeah.
Not that that makes a difference, because they usually have the mounts set out and you just hover over each one, but, you know, whatever. But the mini-pad, that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah.
Definitely a cool one. If I could see the mounts previewed, I mean, not, you know, like if they're coming from the Cartel, we'll say.
Yeah, or something that you wouldn't, they're not laid out to see, like something that drops. Yeah.
Let's see, what else? It says the Unify Colors to Chest option now functions as intended. I didn't get to use it because it told me I couldn't.
You can't use it unless you can pay for it.
I didn't have it paid for.
I know, I noticed that too when I logged on. I was like, why isn't that blue and white?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to go. I'm wearing green and yellow and red. I'm like, ugh, look like a fucking clown.
Let's see. Characters displayed in the Legacy window no longer take the appearance of the currently logged in character. Wow, that's a fucked up bug, dude. Could you imagine? You log in on Lanyard and Suiza and
and everything else just shows up.
They all look like Lanyard.
That would suck. Yeah.
All right. So, of course, as we always get to, there is one in the Miscellaneous Bugs, which I actually pointed out in one of my videos, which is interesting. Which is funny because it says exactly what I said. But that one's a little further down the list. It says, corrected an issue that could prevent players from grouping with one another in an instanced content. Now, instanced content can mean class mission zones.
Flashpoints,
things like flashpoints, ops, heroic zones in some cases. Yeah. Let's see. The shuttle from Ilum Daily now properly transports players to Section X, which is not true apparently unless you have the section that's Game Pass. Several typos and instances of incorrect text have been corrected in all languages, so apparently they fucked them up in every language. Apparently Arabesh is probably one of them. I guess I need to hire you to proofread, buddy. Now,
I've been noticing so much shit written backwards. Like, or not upside down, but backwards, or doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Like, this isn't even a word, dude.
Now, I don't know if you watched my second video, but in my second video, I finally got around to showing these glowing eye options.
Yep. The light side, dark side eyes. Yep.
Right. The light side, dark side eyes are either gold or red. Both of them are really cool from a distance. Yeah. But as you zoomed into your character, you could see where it wasn't mapped appropriately.
So it's like
and
off.
It looked like light bulbs behind your eyes, and that they were flooding around the socket. So it looked really funky and pixelated, and we're always asking the question, who's this asshole who decided to scroll in to see this shit?
Well, everybody does because they want to see. I mean, admittedly, up close, our characters look really good. They did a really good job on the skin tones and stuff. Like Suiza's got freckles, which you can't see from a distance, but if you zoom in, it looks really good. She's got the freckles. So, I mean, I do a lot sometimes because I just like to zoom in and see what my face looks like for whatever reason. But I wonder if that works with the mask, though, those eyes. With the
I don't know, but it would be an interesting combination. Oh, my God. Speaking of Disney, I popped up an alternative window so I could see if I can get rid of some of this red face I have, which didn't work at all.
No, you're fine. I'm green, you're red.
And on Facebook, of course, Kevin Smith links something that I'll put on our Facebook page. It's Mickey Mouse holding it looks like a lightsaber, which I find.
I've been seeing a lot of those. People are quick to do those mashups. I saw a.
Well, this one actually looks like it was something taken from Fantasia.
Yeah, because Mickey Mouse would be a perfect Sork, because Fantasia he was a sorcerer, so that would be a Sork. I would think Goofy would be a good smuggler, because he wears the jacket. He looks like a smuggler. Donald would be a Sith, straight up marauder. He's just always so pissed off. It would be perfect,
Well, see, I'm still saying Darkwing Duck for president.
There we go. Yeah.
But we always joke about that. Who the hell's this asshole who's scrolling in? And I actually happen to be one of those. Yeah. Because I show it in the video, and I show it with the gold eyes and the red eyes. And I think cosmetics for this game it's really cool. I would really like it. This is nitpicky because I would like it to be a socketable item, to where I could add it to my helm or a secondary helm slot, so that the eyes were always glowing, not just look, I'm mean right now.
Oh, it's only temporary. Like a standard mode.
It's 60 seconds. It runs for 60 seconds, and it has a 3-minute cooldown.
Well, if anything, it's very similar to what Kevin was wanting for his. He kept saying he wanted to have a glow for Jedi to show it that he's good side.
And it does say support the lights. You show your support of the light side, and you use the gold glow, which is something we had talked about in many episodes.
Yeah.
And show your support for the dark side, with the red glow.
Right.
And finally, under the news, it says players no longer crash to desktop when attempting to preview vehicles while mounted.
Well, I wish they'd fix the other crash issue. I mean, I crashed 25 times on Monday, and it's not client side because my shit's just fine. So. But
there are a lot of client side. There are a lot of issues that come from servers. With the crashing. Some of the stuff, the notes that they've got on there. I'm happy that they're changing the amount of available war zones for people. I'm happy that they get 2 fucking UI bars, especially on the PTS, because most of us, if not all of us, are used to running all 4 bars in many different configurations, but we're still used to running it.
Yeah.
And to not have that just seemed really stupid.
We had to bitch and bitch and bitch just to get that 4th bar on the screen.
Yeah.
Before it was just the 3 and the switch and the swap over one that you could use, but
the cover bar.
Yeah, the cover bar. Well, you could also use it because you could actually switch the bar. Because until they gave us the 4th bar, even on lanyard, I was using that quote unquote cover bar. I just set it up to where it would switch, page up, page down, and that was I got used to that. But anyway,
it's still aggravating as hell.
Yeah. And the 6 bars is going to be great because we can't macro, and there's a lot of things that sometimes the mission items don't show up in the mission list, so you have to open your bag, go to mission, then click on the thing. So that'd be nice to throw those in the accessory bar. Multiple mounts, since you just click a mount button and it randomizes it. If you want different mounts every time, pets, food, whatever. Well, food, we don't have food.
Well, the random pets and the random mount things, I like that. I always thought that was cool. It was hard before the add-on came out.
Yeah, right out the macro. Yeah.
Yeah, macro was fucking cute.
Yeah, but it was cool. It worked.
Yeah, but it was nice because you never knew which one. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that we talked about was the mounts and how they don't scale. No matter what level you are, you unlock it at 25. It's still a 25 mount. And even when you hit 50, it's not. Now they do have a lot of the mounts that they're introducing with the Cartel and the Crime Lords that are going to be scaling. Huh. So if you're 20, or, if you just got your ability to mount up and you get the throne, you can ride the throne. God, this sounds disgusting. I've rode the throne many a times, and it was never a good bus or drive.
When you first said that, when you first told me about the moving throne, I thought that was hilarious, and I was like, oh, that's just too funny, a floating chair, that's funny. But I mentioned before the show that I watched episode 1 and episode 2 again just to catch up on some old stuff, and to see how it relates to what we are. And there's a guy, one of the gray guy from the trade cartel is actually riding a throne. It walks, but it's a riding throne. And I was like, oh, okay. So and I also saw that really cool scooter that's looks like a pigeon, like a bird you're riding. That's in episode 1 or 2. The droids are riding it, so the Roger droids. I was like, oh, there it is. I was like, oh, cool. So it was kind of fun to go back through and see some of that stuff.
And it's always cool to see some of the stuff that they're bringing into the game. Now, granted, that universe takes place long after us.
Way after.
But it's obvious that the design of items cannot come from cannot be too distended from the general IP. Right. So the fact that these items are coming in and they look similar to what's in the movie is what we should actually expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
And it keeps us from feeling too distended from the universe of itself.
Right.
And I think it's fun. It's really cool to see these items. I would like to see a little bit more of them. What I really would like to see is, I definitely want more planets. Planets are important to me because it's a travel destination. It's a questing zone. Level cap is arguable. I wouldn't mind seeing a 10-point level cap increase, just because we're working on year 2 at this point, and really 10 levels isn't that much to ask. No. They're supposed to be introducing that new planet anyway. Yeah. But this is the new planet, the level cap raise, and the Cathar are all things that were thrown way up into the sky. And we're supposed to be coming by launch of the anniversary of launch, which, if I remember correctly, is coming on. Was it November? I can't remember. I've been playing so long.
I got it in February, but
SWTOR launch.
Do you remember?
5 days before Christmas.
5 days. Okay. Crystal says 5 days before Christmas.
So the 20th. Okay.
November 20th.
So apparently, well, maybe we'll get the Cathar on the 24th, 21st, when the world is supposed to end, according to everybody but my mother.
We're launching the Cathar tomorrow, and then meanwhile back at BioWare they're going, God, I hope it ends tomorrow. I haven't got it done.
Just gotta finish putting the final touches on it, boss.
It's all you gotta do. I'll do it tomorrow.
But there is a lot of nice stuff coming with the patch. I really do hope that they get it finalized. I really wish they would have made an allowance to say, hey, if you're already doing X, Y, and Z, or you're already wearing X, Y, and Z, your character has obviously bought that allowance, which apparently they didn't think to do. And I did, and I said last week, and I said I still state this week, that I understand the reason for what they did and how, some of how they did it. Obviously, you're not going to know what people are going to buy and what you should work on making more of if you don't test out what they're going to buy in the first place. Catch your breath, son.
I saw some of the. I checked out what I did check out on the Cartel was some of the outfits, and I was like, oh, cool, new outfits. Some of those low-level outfits are crap. I mean, as far as the way they look, I mean, they look like basic items that drop, and I'm like, why would I want to wear a plain shirt? It's kind of boring. But I mean, why would I pay for it, for that matter?
Right.
But I mean, I guess if you RPers want to be, a plain Jedi, just a robe, okay.
Well, it's not that hard to be a plain Jedi. Have you checked out some of that PvP gear? I don't get anything cool until I hit 50, and I look like a fucking retarded Ginsu knife on its ass.
Yeah, well.
I mean,
I saw a guy in was that Directive 7, hard mode, so it was a level 50 geared Jedi something, but he looked, I swear to God, it looked exactly like something you'd see from the Roman Empire. I mean, it had the boots, had the laces up the calf. He had the little toga-looking thing on. It even had an Omega on his front chest. I'm like, dude, all you're missing is the leaf wreath. And he's like, shut up, you look like a whore. I was like, good comeback, asshole. I'm like, nice comeback.
The gear that I was looking at, because I was playing on Wade, and, I PvP predominantly on Wade. I don't really get into many instances, which confuses me, but I PvP a lot on Wade. And so I was like, well, I wonder what the War Hero gear would look like. Because the War Hero gear on Naga is ill. I'm just in love with it. Yeah. I want to get the rest of the set.
Yeah.
But when I look at the War Hero gear for the Sages, I'm not as impressed. It's got two big bladey horn-looking things, and I've got a twat flap, and then I've got thigh covers.
Yeah, some of the gear is even in WoW, it was like, what the fuck were they thinking when they built this? So I mean, I guess it's to each his own. But then other people love it. I mean, I see a lot of people running around with that helmet that looks like they've got two fucking like a longhorn steak, or a longhorn cow. I mean, I'm like, ugh, that's fucking hideous. I would never wear that, but I see a lot of people wearing it.
The Marauder Juggernaut gear.
Right, and we saw the other day, there was I want to say a priest. God damn it, wow. There was a Sork or something, Jedi, wearing that, they had that big fan on his head, right?
Right.
And you hated it, and I thought it was cool. So I guess it really depends on who's
It just
playing.
Reminds me of a pooper scooper, that's all.
I just thought it'd be a real bitch to have to ride your speeder. You'd have to turn your head sideways so you wouldn't catch the air.
Woo, this is a good forest to fly through.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta slow down. Put the fucking brake on. Flap comes up.
But I mean, you know, I look forward to seeing what they do in 1.5. I hope that they start. I feel that they're on the very brink of it.
Didn't they say they were going to release the 1.5 PTS 2 weeks before they put it out? So it's been what, a week and a half?
About that.
Yeah, so probably 1st of November, first-ish week of November.
Well, if it doesn't come in the first week in November, I really do expect it to be out right as kids are going to holiday break. Because you've got to align it just right to capitalize on the amount of people available.
Yeah.
And if you launch free-to-play when people are still in school, people are still at work, kids are still at college, you're fucked. If you get them right as they're going into the holiday break, you've got an unimpeded 6 to 7 weeks of nonstop cash flowing into the coffers.
Yeah.
I mean, it will trump most of what they'll get off of, Call of Duty Warfighter. Or, what's that called? No, Medal of Honor Warfighter, which is EA's newest game.
Yeah.
They will see more money through pay-to-play on that if they take the time to wait until the holiday really kicks off. Don't get premature and blow it out of the box right away. I say hold off, fine-tune shit for a change of pace.
Yeah.
For this time, don't have to do it every time, but fine-tune stuff. Make sure it's working appropriately before you launch it. If anything, they should have, and I don't think I've ever heard of any company that's had this, so it's not like I'm saying, oh, well, Blizzard did, because Blizzard didn't do anything about like this. I wish they had a system where they could add the new patch to the server, the equivalent of a live server's current programming to check it for fuck-ups. Because the biggest problem we have is random code errors when they pop a new patch onto the old patch.
Oh, great.
Like when we're updating all of our properties and everything and assets, and when it comes to the live server, for some godforsaken reason, it almost always snaps, and something that's never been an issue becomes an issue.
Right.
Like the last patch we got gave us the load screen.
WoW solved that problem by slowly releasing the patch into the stream.
Yeah.
And things would come online as you downloaded it, and people could... And then they would just slowly, because you would be playing and it'd still be updating the patches and stuff. So and that's how they kind of solved that. Even though they still had problems. I mean, I remember seeing the guy with that top of his head, and I was like, but minor stuff. But I mean, they could do something like that. A lot of games are doing that now. They're doing the patch as you load, or as you play. So. It's something that they're probably going to work on. I mean, we have seen some updates that weren't directly patch related. Like you'll see an occasional stream of you need to download this, and you get no notification on what it is. Just fix this.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good that we have 1.5 on its way. When exactly is still up in the air. We know when they said initially it was going to be, but once again, I'd rather than take an extra couple of weeks and time it right. And fine-tune shit. I personally am really excited about free-to-play. I'm probably going to waste more than I spend on my monthly service fee just to be able to get some of the extra cool stuff.
You're just going to buy everything, aren't you?
Well,
you're going to buy everything.
I've always been a mount whore. And with the option of mounts, the wife, for instance, is a pet whore. So she will go through and try to get whatever pets she can get. Kevin did the same thing in World of Warcraft with mounts and pets. I did the same thing with pets for World of Warcraft until it got like, stupid. Buy this Wyvern mount and get a free Beanie Baby. Because I didn't give a shit about
you get a stuffed animal.
Well, same fucking difference. You have the damn thing, so you have no room to talk.
I bought 2 of them.
Yeah, 2. Well, fuck.
I bought one for my nephew. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, for his nephew, but he kept the fucking stuffed animal.
No, I sent the stuffed animal to the nephew.
Sent the stuffed animal to him and kept the code.
I don't remember what I did with the code. I think I sent the code off too, so his mom would have it because she plays. But anyways.
One of the things that I was asked on the YouTube feed, and they haven't told us exactly, but I couldn't remember, and I was hoping you could. he was asking me how we were to get more Cartel coins.
Purchase them.
Now, well, purchase, yes, is obvious.
You go to your account and you buy them. And then, of course, every month that you're a subscriber, if he's talking how do you get more Cartel coins if you're a subscriber, every month that you're a subscriber, you just get them.
Right.
$2.50 or whatever it is.
If you're not a subscriber, then of course you get
through the account. Online.
Well, guys, we're running a little long. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope to get another video out this week to you guys. But I definitely got to cut it now. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the pit.
Thank you again for joining us here on Sith Talk. Lanyard and Dadakar look forward to talking with you next week. Remember to follow us on Twitter at SithTalk, or stop by our Facebook page at facebook.com/SithTalk. And of course our Gmail is SithTalk@gmail.com. This music brought to you by freeplay.com. And remember, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me.